Hello, Oklahoma science teachers. My name is Tom, and I'm here to take you through instructional materials more than a textbook. So, welcome to our spotlight on more than a textbook. So, with Amplify, students go on a problem based deep dive with every unit where they're going to be a scientist or an engineer of some kind. So, they're going to be exposed to amazing STEM careers and they're going to figure out real world problems. Now, this is important because we want students to work and think like real scientists do, but also we want to address the new standards. So when we get asked with Amplify Science, is there a textbook? I taught for many years. I used to have my textbook and then I would have my resources to supplement that textbook. But to meet the expectations of the new standards and to improve student success in science, there is not the traditional textbook that even I taught with. But instead, we have print books or digital books or articles. In middle school, we graduate up to articles, from student books to articles, and those work in conjunction with a fillable student investigation notebook. So the combination of the print book or articles that students are going to read to get secondhand information from, in combination with the notebook for them to demonstrate their understanding, that works together seamlessly within our program. So with that, let's go over really the reason behind this thinking. If you look at your standards in Oklahoma and throughout the nation, we have what's called disciplinary core ideas. These are my earth, life, physical science, engineering kind of facts that we want students to know. Then we bring in the 8 science and engineering practices, and this is where things get different. These are action items I'm going to cover with you just really briefly. And then we have the cross-cutting concepts, things like recognizing patterns, cause and effect that can be tied all together. Our experts, our development team has created an anchoring phenomenon, bringing all 3 parts together so teachers don't have to worry about meeting the demands of the standards. But our instructional materials reflect this change in how we address the science and engineering practices. So as you can see here, asking questions, developing and using models, and planning and carrying out investigations. So number 2 and 3 in particular, and even number 1, blend into what we want for a hands-on experience. Analyzing and interpreting data and using math and computational thinking, that's creating graphs, doing mathematics around the data that is collected, whether that data comes from, in our program, the text, the hands-on, or our digital tools. And then finally, constructing explanations, designing solutions, engaging in argument from evidence, obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. That's where the written component comes in. Our student books or the articles in middle school and the notebook for them to demonstrate their understanding brings together those final 3 parts of the standards. So I think it's important to also talk about the instructional materials that teachers are going to use. So we have a print and digital teacher guide. Also, teachers get access to all of our classroom slides, which are amazing PowerPoints or Google slideshows. We also give you all the print materials for your wall. So this would come in your kit. You would have unit questions, chapter questions, key concepts, vocabulary cards. Also, any sorting activities or manipulatives where students are going to be grouping and figuring things out. We provide that on heavy cardstock for you. As I move into student materials, I'm going to talk about K-5 first, because there is a difference between 6-8. So in K-5, we have a consumable student investigation notebook. That notebook is designed with graphic organizers built in for students to demonstrate and write out their findings from what they read and what they do with hands-on and what they do with our digital tools. So the student materials include the notebook, which is a consumable. Then you have the durable text. Now, all of these materials are also available in 100% digital format, or you can do a blended approach, which many of our schools choose. So there's 5 unique titles per every unit of print books. Great readers that are designed in purpose with the alignment, the way that the lessons flow, to use literacy strategies to get information from a secondhand source, which is a text. Also, we have the digital tools and, of course, the hands-on materials. The kits that I'm going to show you images of for each grade level actually contain everything in one bin, all organized for you. All the manipulatives, the only thing that comes separate would be the print notebooks, and that's done on purpose because each district has a different number of students that would need those notebooks. So looking at the material kits for K-5, keep in mind 36 students are supported, a class size of up to 36, and that means groups of 2 or 4 students. So you're not talking large groups. Other companies out there do have material kits, but sometimes they expect you to make groups of 5, 6, or even more students, and that's really not as effective as we would want. So all kindergarten kits that you see are listed here for the units that a kindergarten teaches. The majority of the kits come with these plastic bins, but in some units, for instance, this one with pushes and pulls, where students are going to be pinball machine engineers, we provide an extra box of pre-cut cardboard boxes for them to build those. That way you don't have to find the cardboard and have the students cut it. So we do have some units have extra materials in a separate cardboard box. So here's all if you're a kindergarten teacher, these are the kits you're going to get, and we have your measurements there. First grade, there's no extra additional boxes outside the regular plastic bins with everything that you would need for your units. Once again, everything comes in there. It's divided. The top box up here is a separate area inside the bin that includes all those print materials for your word wall, all that stuff. And then you also, right in the middle section, there's an area that contains all the student books. So it's built to really be a compartmentalized bin that organizes everything for you. Grade 2, this is what the teachers would get here. You would notice you do have an additional smaller cardboard box that would be coming in with your materials and everything you need to teach. We do believe in hands-on investigations. And so you will see the print materials as well as the hands-on blending together. Grade 3, you can see the size of your kits here if you stack them. They're very durable, easy to move around, great for you to keep your resources together. Grade 4, by grade 4, we do have 4 units. So in grades Kinder 1 and 2, there are 3 units of study. By grade 4, there are 4 units. So you start getting some more materials, right? You can see here the materials that come for our grade 4 teachers. And the last of my elementary school teachers, I can't leave out my grade 5 teachers. You can see all the robust resources there and the material kits that you will be using. Now I want to talk about the difference with 6-8 materials. So the teacher materials are the same. The student materials are different. So instead of reading the little flip books, regular books, students are going to read scientific articles. Those articles do add up to a great amount of literacy built into the program, and we do use active reading strategies across all grade bands. And so you can get student notebooks with the articles in them. The articles are right in the notebook, and so the students have access there. Or if you're a more tech-driven school, you can forego the notebooks and everything is online, and those articles are online. So the notebook would have where they write as well as where they read. So it becomes more like a work text in that particular situation. But once again, everything can be delivered online. And so if there's an investment in technology at your school, you can forego the print articles and print notebooks and do 100% digitally. Also, we blend in hands-on and digital tools as well. Make sure you check out our other spotlight on the digital resources, and the simulations are really cool. So as I move forward, in grades 6 through 8, we do upgrade the amount of materials in the kit because we know class sizes get larger in many middle schools. So 40 students are supported with every kit. Also 5 periods a day. So you're talking up to 200 uses, and that's 2 to 4 students per group. Once again, small group sizes that we believe in. One thing about our material kits, and this is across the board, 2/3 of our kits do not have consumable items. The 1/3 that does, nothing is proprietary in those kits, those manipulatives that are proprietary to Amplify. So most schools do go out and, let's say I'm running short on baking soda, I can go out locally and get that. We do offer refill kits if needed, but we find that most of our schools start off with the kits here. They run through a couple of years, then they replace as they need the items from those kits. So you can see grade 6 here, the units that you have, the multiple units for grade 7. So everything, once again, comes in nice stackable bins. But once again, the class size has gone up from 36 to 40 students supported for 5 periods a day. And then at grade 8, all the amazing resources that come in those kits too. So instead of a textbook, you're going to either use a work text in 6 through 8 or a combination of the notebook and the student books in grades K-5, or you can forego different components of that and do a 100% digital solution as well. And so we'd love to talk about districts on solutioning, which is the best situation for those print resources to really bring home this learning strategy and skill set for your students to be very successful with Amplify. And it all blends into this research-based do, talk, read, write, visualize approach, which meets the expectations of those new standards of science and engineering practices. So students are going to do hands-on. then they're going to talk. There's over 8 different discourse routines that get them talking science. So they have to explain what they did with their hands-on or explain what they did with their reading, which comes next. They're going to either read those books or they're going to read the articles to get that information that they're going to make sure they share out either in their notebooks or digitally online. And then they're going to visualize with all of our amazing digital tools. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about our kits, our components, and why we don't have a traditional textbook, because we really want students to be more successful and work the way scientists and engineers work today. So thank you. I hope to hear from you and hope to see some of you for presentations throughout this upcoming school year. Bye-bye.